Friday night and he's pulling them over left and right. He sorta looks like Darth Vader with his gun and his radar and his flashing blue light. He drives a government squad car full of all kinds of hardware to handle the angry mob. And with his badge on his shoulder and his gun in his holster, he'll tell you he's just doing his job. Watch out for martial law when he's out there watching after you. If he's a tool of the bankster, he's a badge-wearing gangster, an agent straight from Interpol. Watch out for martial law. He's there to prove who owns the muscle. Pull you over to the side of the shoulder, cause he cannot see your license plate with light. Because he cannot see your
Constitution. I'm going to show you how it applies. Any questions?
Now that we've gone over the Constitution and we talked about some of the ways that you can use it, now we're going to go into some of the ways that you can apply it, okay? We would like to ask a few questions of the audience, though, first. If anybody has any questions that so far maybe they don't understand or they have an idea. Yes, you, sir.
Yeah, how do I react properly if a police officer wants to search my car when I'm pulled over?
Okay, we're going to cover that. We're going to cover exactly what to do in the event you're pulled over, and we're going to cover how to handle most of your traffic cases, okay? But basically the most important thing to do is to be very courteous at all times. Extend to every person the courtesy that you would like yourself, okay? And my honest advice is if it's yes sir, no sir, you treat the officer with some due respect. And most of the time you will find that if you treat them professionally, they will respond in kind. And usually they'll treat you professionally. But the bottom line is if you react with a negative attitude, you're going to get negative attitude back, and that's non-productive. So I highly recommend you accord the officer every respect. Remember, he is out there risking his life every day to protect the public, and you know, you have to understand most of the police officers are professional, and they will respond professionally. Every now and then you're going to get a yahoo, but that's just the way it is in life. I mean, but most of the people, if you treat them respectfully, they will respond in kind. Yes, sir, you back there.
Yes, I was wondering about the concealed weapons carrying procedures. Do I have a right to, or should I leave it home? What should I do?
Well, you do have a right, and we will go over that very thoroughly. We're going to go into the second part of this program right now. We're going to teach you, one, how to be your own counsel in court. We're going to teach you some of the arguments that you can use with the training that we've already given you. And we're going to show you how to graphically use your constitutional rights to exercise your rights. So that'll be covered. You, sir.
Yes, if I'm pulled over just while driving down the road, can you give us some idea of a procedure that, what procedure to say, what things to say, what not to say, and that sort of thing?
Well, the things to do, first of all, is when you pull over, try not to demonstrate any rapid movements or any like you're reaching under the seat or you're reaching in the glove box. Keep your hands where you can be seen. Do not overreact. Try and be calm. Talk to the officer in a mellow voice. Don't yell or holler or use profanity whatsoever. Basically, it's yes, sir. You know, what can I do for you, sir? They'll usually ask you to produce your documentation. You have license, proof of insurance, and the registration of the vehicle. Okay, now we're going to go into a lot of issues on those programming to cover that, to show you some of the things that you can do and what you can opt to do. Also, I recommend that you treat the officer, as I told the other gentleman there, very courteously, because that is going to get you a lot farther ahead than giving them a lot of negative hype or trying to outshout them or give them a lot of static. So my honest counsel is, let me show you how we proceed. Most of the time you will be able to leave the scene without any serious injury. You might have a ticket or this or that, but we'll show you how to deal with that, okay? But you need to be understanding that this party is an armed party, and you don't want to do any movements that's going to cause him to overreact to an injury of you. Yeah. And you'll find that a lot of times this is the most dangerous thing a police officer does, is stop people all day, because he never knows when somebody might do some really serious traumatic thing, you know. So they're very nervous about this, and the quicker you can relieve their nervousness, and just be a regular person and let them realize you're just going to talk in a plain and common voice, the sooner you're going to be in a communicative situation. Now, obviously, you're going to find out real quick if you got a cooperative officer or not, and if you don't have a cooperative officer, then you're going to be in court anyway. So the best thing I can tell you is be patient. Just let us follow along with our program, and we'll be happy to demonstrate. And again, we would like to let you know that your best defenses are in your Constitution, that Constitution is a viable contract, that it is enforceable in the court of law under the statute of frauds, that you have a right to claim those rights, that the burden is on you to claim them timely, and a key word here is timely, or you lose the right. So you want to be cognizant of your rights and be able to timely speak up. Okay? Now, let's go on to a couple of things here. We're going to concentrate, as we did before, on our main basic cases. We also want to give you some further advanced programming. The book The Federalist Papers by Madison, Hamilton, and Jay. Those are the gentlemen that wrote the United States Constitution. Okay? And you want the Mentor edition because it is the unabridged edition. Now, the Supreme Court has ruled in the case of Cohen versus Virginia. That's recorded at 6 Wheat Reporter, volume 6, page 2. All right? Now, Wheat is an old report, and this was done in 1821, so you may have to go to your leading law library around, like we go to Michigan, University of Michigan, or we go to Detroit College of Law. But you want to these pages will be so old you'll have to worry how you turn them without trying to screw them up. But the Supreme Court ruled in the matter of Cohen versus Virginia, 6 Wheat 2, that this book, The Federalist Papers, was the exact record of the intent of the framers of the Constitution, Madison, Hamilton, and Jay. Those are the guys that wrote the Constitution. So obviously being able to read their published thoughts as they were doing this Constitution is very, very forceful in terms of constitutional interpretation, and the intent of the lawmaker is the law. And it shall be liberally enforced in favor of you. You are the clearly intended and expressly designated beneficiary, got me? So everything you can do to enhance your position in terms of how your lawmakers thought when they framed this Constitution clearly makes your case even more stronger for the Constitution be interpreted in favor of you. So we recommend you get a copy of this Federalist Papers, you read it cover to cover. You want the Mentor edition because that's the unabridged edition. You'll find some of the other editions got some of the pages pulled out. Okay? Now, we want to get into some of the cases. Basically, the second program that we have here is the advanced section. We are going to be covering procedures. We're going to be teaching you how to be your own counsel. We're going to be telling you some facts and issues on what to do, what happens when you get pulled over, how do you exercise your rights in a timely fashion. We're going to be talking about some of the problems that are going on in America today. We're going to be talking about some of the studies that have been done. We just had a law review study put out by this lady here. Her name is Joyce Lee Malcolm. Joyce Lee Malcolm. She started out working for the anti-gun people. She is a Harvard legal scholar. She is very, very knowledgeable. She researched the right to keep and bear arms of the people back to the 1700s in England. And she came to the honest belief after all of her research, and of course she would be following her research because she is a person of very acclaim in terms of her study. She researched it back to the 1700s and found out that, yep, our right to keep and bear arms is a positive right. It has come from serious law all the way back to the Magna Carta. And she published a book. And the book here is To Keep and Bear Arms. It's a rather extensive book. Okay. It's not hard to get a hold of. It did take us about 10 days of ordering it to get a hold of it. But it's a definitive study on the right to keep and bear arms that verifies the holdings that your average person who's